Look, Donald Trump won the 2016 election, right? How many votes were cast? 137 million almost. Did you know that if 77,000 votes shifted to Hillary Clinton in 3 states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Hillary Clinton could have won that election? My point is, fraud doesn't necessarily have to be widespread. Watch it when they use these little qualifiers, right? I don't like it. I don't like a lot of what's going on right now. Donald Trump, 4 times, how many cases? 4, 5, something like that. They are misusing something that I used to, well, the law. What could be wrong with the law? We all have reverence for the law. I do have reverence for the law, right? But I'm falling out of love with it. Is it possible? I'm falling out of love with it, unlike these people.
I love the law.
I love the law. I believe in it.
I love the law.
We all grew up, and we need law. I like the law. Am I in love with it like Ketanji Brown Jackson? I don't know. The law, it is beautiful, right? For everybody, you got the justice weighing everything. The way it's been weaponized, I hate that word weaponized, but it's probably pretty good. Look, they're taking advantage of the law, and they're taking advantage that they chased so many good lawyers away. Rudy Giuliani, look at what they're trying to do to him. They're trying to destroy him for aggressively advocating for his client, Donald Trump. They've taken his law license. They've ruined his clientele base. I mean, there aren't many lawyers out there who are going to sign up for this kind of stuff. So people are afraid, lawyers and others. And what has happened to Donald Trump? Chased off the ballot in Colorado. Yep. It's in the primary, not in the general, but it would look something like this. No more Donald Trump on the ballot. All right. This Colorado decision, I started it last night. I am now finished. The most egregious thing, the worst thing in this ruling, whatever it is, they say that Donald Trump, what he was saying right there, is not constitutionally protected free speech, not protected by the First Amendment of the United States. And they try to say that everything he was saying that day was illegal. Does this sound illegal?
We're gathered together in the heart of our nation's capital for one very, very basic and simple reason: to save our democracy.
They quote this. They quote this item is quoted in the Supreme Court Colorado ruling. All right, right there. You can't say this. You can't say. Well, it's not just that. I mean, they got 6 quotes here. I'm going to play them all for you. If you tie these all together, they say it's a call to violence. Is it? Next.
Republicans are constantly fighting like a boxer with his hands tied behind his back. It's like a boxer. And we want to be so nice. We want to be so respectful of everybody, including bad people. And we're going to have to fight much harder.
Does this sound like an insurrection? They're saying that this is the insurrection right here that you're looking at. They put this quote. There are about, again, a few of them on page 112 of this thing. Democrats can talk however the heck they want in the meantime. Listen.
Michelle says that, when they go low, we go high. No. When they go low, we kick them.
Talk about a double standard. It has to be done, though. I cannot. They're actually trying to say that Donald Trump, what he said that day, is illegal. It's not. And I know, look, he's a fiery speaker. There's nothing wrong with that. Next, please.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Yeah, no, America, you can't. If you hear words like that, you might do something crazy. They put this on page 112, that this is illegal language somehow in violation of the First Amendment. You can say a lot of things, but you can't say this. It gets even better.
When you catch somebody in a fraud, you're allowed to go by very different rules.
Ooh, and this is quoted as well. And they say this. I mean, obviously, look, if you catch somebody in a fraud, you're allowed to go by very different rules. Number one, rules. The word rules, that means, well, you're following the rules, and they are different. Under the Electoral Count Act of 1887, you don't hear that thing every day. Well, they dusted it off, they broke it out, and they saw, hey, we can actually object like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. You don't do it every 4 years, but in an election like this, you can follow these rules. Next, please. More illegal speech, according to those people in Colorado.
This is the most corrupt election in the history, maybe of the world. This is not just a matter of domestic politics. This is a matter of national security.
You know, he was right about that, national security. Turned out to be very right. Yeah, this is quoted as something you can't say in public, according to the Supreme Court. 4 of the justices, 3 of them said, you know, this is too far even for a liberal court. It was a 4-3 decision. Turned out to be very, very prescient about national security. Less than a year later, America would be beaten in Afghanistan. Remember that? Yeah, national security. Also, a little over a year later, Ukraine would be invaded by Russia. And 62% of the American public still believe that Putin would not have invaded if Trump were still president at the time. Next, please.
And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Ooh, now come on, right? Fight. I mean, obviously he means, what does he mean? Metaphorically, fight. They actually put this in here, right? And they said he's literally calling for people to fight. That's like, who remembers the Beastie Boys, Fight for Your Right to Party? Did they really mean that you had to fight your mom to party? They did not mean that. You're allowed to say these things in America. Harry Truman, running for president, 1948. The whole narrative, the whole theme of it, give him hell, Harry. Give them hell. And in America, you can fight like hell. Whether you're a Republican, some hockey team somewhere, a Democrat.
In the Senate, Democrats are going to fight like hell.
We're going to fight like hell.
So I'm going to fight like hell.
We'll fight like hell to make sure that we act.
As long as I'm president of the United States, I'm going to fight like hell.
You see, I mean, how can they look at themselves in the mirror, these people, with these kinds of arguments? Number 2, if you don't mind, put it up. They're actually saying in the Supreme Court ruling, President Trump then gave a speech in which he literally exhorted his supporters to fight at the Capitol. You know, it's funny, literally, he did say fight, so literally fight, but that does not mean actually literally fight. They're playing a game, and they're counting on nobody reading this and just going along with it, and maybe even the Supreme Court going along with it. Next, please. After all those quotes in the hearing, in the ruling on page 112, unsurprisingly, the crowd at the ellipse reacted to President Trump's words with calls for violence. It's interesting. They kind of contradict themselves in this thing. Donald Trump gives a political speech. It's others who make the call for violence. Donald Trump is not responsible for that, and I have real doubts about who was actually calling for what that day, i.e., federal agents in the crowd. I mean, they won't give us a straight answer. The Federal Bureau of Investigation will not deny that there were federal agents in the crowd potentially orchestrating things. All right. Oh, that was fight like hell. What about good old fight? Good old fight. Well, you're allowed to say that too in America.
What I'll do as president what Donald Trump hasn't. I'll fight for you.
I will fight for you.
I want to fight for you.
You see, and the theme song of Hillary Clinton's 2016 losing campaign was Fight Song. Anybody remember that? This is my fight song. Anyway, when something like that, it was in a lot of car commercials, and Hillary liked the tune. A couple of other things. They said this was illegal in the opinion there, that Donald Trump, when he said Mike Pence did not have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country. Oh my goodness gracious, can you believe it? He's calling for Mike Pence to what? He's not saying anything. That nothing should happen to Mike Pence. He's just saying he didn't. You know who said a lot worse than this? I mean, did not have the courage. Does that mean hang Mike Pence? Of course it doesn't. I know people who have said a lot worse about Mike Pence. People like Liz Cheney's father, the guy with the fake cowboy hat, Dick.
In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters.
You know, when you call somebody a coward, that arguably is really crossing the line, a coward. Saying somebody doesn't have courage, that's a lot nicer, a lot nicer. They also go into this whole thing, oh, he should have called Vice President, he should have called people, he should have called Vice President Pence. Donald Trump is not a security guard, all right? He's not. And why didn't Vice President Pence call Trump? Can I hear that moment, please, with David Muir and Vice President Pence?
Over the course of several hours, you spoke with the acting defense secretary. You spoke with the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley.
I did.
You spoke with the acting Attorney General, Jeff Rosen, with the Chief of Capitol Police. Where was the president in all this?
David, I was at the Capitol. I wasn't at the White House.
And when you learned later that he was watching all this unfold on TV?
I can't account for what the president was doing that day. I was at a loading dock in the Capitol where a riot was taking place.
But why wasn't he making these calls?
That'd be a good question for him.
It's actually a good question for you. Why didn't you call President Trump? Doesn't work that way. The president doesn't check in with the vice president. It's the other way around. And that goes for the defense secretary. That goes for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. That goes for the deep state. It goes to the president, not the other way around. They know it. They're playing a game, and they're getting away with it, at least not with me. So this whole Colorado thing is going to go to the Supreme Court. And everything's going to be fine there. Not the Colorado Supreme Court. I mean, the U.S. Supreme Court. Are those guys going to do the right thing? Who knows? Kavanaugh, that guy's life was turned upside down when they showed up at front of his house in violation of the law. And the Christine Blasey Ford thing, I think, has him totally spooked. So I don't know. I don't trust the Supreme Court right now. I don't trust them to do the right thing. I don't trust the law. It has been so perverted by so many people, and so many good lawyers have been chased away. So we have to remember, actually, they want to have non-lawyers and people outside the system feel like we don't have a voice or we're not qualified to look at this stuff. We absolutely are, all right? We must get involved, and we can't be intimidated by their paperwork. I have to show you something. Does anybody remember the movie The Verdict with Paul Newman? Came out 81 or 82. Fantastic movie. Paul Newman is kind of a down-and-out lawyer, and the system is sabotaging him in big ways and small. And he's representing a client who's been totally screwed, and he's got one shot to make the case to the jury. And here's how he does it.
But today you are the law. You are the law. Not some book, not the lawyers, not a marble statue or the trappings of the court. See, those are just symbols of our desire to be just. They are in fact a prayer. A fervent and a frightened prayer.
I love it. It's a jury of neutral peers. We are the law. We are the law. Don't forget that when they're having their legal panels on television, all right? And they put out these things with their terminology and the Latin phrases. We are the law. Excellent movie. One more time, that's The Verdict. And in that scene, in the spectator galley, you know who's sitting there? That's Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, as an up-and-coming actor, he was getting roles here and there as an extra. I'll be right back.